Hey guys, it's Cut Light Smoke, back again for another review. Today we're taking a look at an accessory, and a really cool, unique one at that. So this is the Cigarmedics Humidimeter. I don't know if you guys can see that here. Let me see if I can get rid of that blur. Get my face out of the picture. So this tool is super cool, super unique. Basically what it does, you take it out, there's a cap, it's got two prongs on it, you put that into the end of your cigar. Then it measures the humidity within the cigar. As we all know, you have a hygrometer that measures the actual air inside of your humidor, and that is based on relative humidity. So relative to the temperature that the humidor and the environment is going to give you a humidity reading. So this thing is really cool because if you put a cigar that is, let's say, 60% humidity throughout, relative humidity, in a humidor that is 75%, right? Which, dumb idea. Don't ever do that. That's way too high. But if you did, that 75% is going to take a heck of a lot of time to actually get that cigar to hit equilibrium, so the whole entire thing, all the leaves are sitting at the same relative humidity. So what this tool does, it kind of gives you a good idea to see if the cigar is basically in equilibrium. I always let my cigars sit at minimum 2 weeks to reacclimate into my humidor if I buy them from anywhere, which, you know, I'm not a tobacconist, so I'm buying them from somebody. Everybody stores their cigars at different temperatures and humidities. I prefer somewhere around, I keep my house about 65 to 68 degrees year round depending on the season, and then I also keep my humidity set to about 60 to 65. Sometimes it floats a little higher. During the winter, I do try to bump that up because it's a little drier here. I live in Indiana. We have pretty cold winters. So right now, I've been floating. A lot of my humidors are sitting around 68% because I've been really trying to beef them up, add a little bit, get them stable. So, but I'm gonna stop rambling. We're gonna check this thing out and do a little test here. I've got 4 cigars with me today, and we're gonna see what these read. Now, every single one of these cigars was in a different travel humidor, airtight travel humidor. I wanted to do this test with as accurately as I could, so I put them all in airtight travel humidors instead of a traditional cedar humidor. That way I can kind of guarantee that the humidity is what it needs to be. So the humidity inside of all of these, the relative humidity, was set with Boveda packs, or Boveda, however the hell you want to say that name. Boveda, I believe, is the technical name, but I like to call it Boveda, so you guys let me know what you think about that. But anyways, I put them all in with 69% Boveda packs, and I double-checked, made sure they were all right. So 69% is what we're hoping for here. That will kind of determine if this is accurate or not. But anyways, this thing comes in a little plastic case. You take off the back piece. It's got a little information sheet here. So basically the operation says, and I've already done this part, but it says remove the battery tab, the little plastic tab. I took that out already. And then press the on button and 0% will appear on the LCD display. Clean the probes with a dry cloth. Place the cigar on a flat surface and insert humidimeter probes completely into the foot and or the cap of the cigar. Allow humidimeter up to 5 to 10 seconds as it will accurately calculate and display the humidity percentage on the LCD screen. And then we are to refer to the chart as general reference, which says basically 0 to 60%, you're losing oils, cracking, breaking, not good. Don't ever let your cigars go below 60%, guys. They will really start to dry out. Even when you get right at 60, there are occasions where my humidor will get down there, like in the winter, you know, if I'm not keeping up on it as much as I should. Sometimes it'll get close to 60. I don't really like getting there. I start freaking out because once you go below 60, you're typically losing a lot of oils. And that's where the flavor comes from. Then it says on here, 60 to 70%, slow even burn and smoke, smooth even draw, optimal flavor and taste. I would say that's fair. I don't like to be necessarily up super into the 70% mark. I do feel that's a little bit high, and I tend to prefer to smoke my cigars at 65. Now, storing them at 70%, that's not going to hurt a thing. It actually helps age them faster in some cases. So 70% is going to keep everything moist. It's going to be pliable. It's not going to break on you, crack on you. You know, things like Cameroon wrappers, Connecticut wrappers, a lot more fragile. You want a little more humidity for those things. But as you guys might know, you can always dry box a cigar before you smoke it. Put it in a dry cedar box for a day or two. Pre-smoke, it'll help pull some of the moisture away if it is too high, and then it'll smoke better, because as you might also know, cooler smoke comes from lighter, lower humidity levels. I tend to go with about 65 is what I float around, right? 60 to 65, somewhere in there for most of my cigars. I do that because they burn much cooler. The more damp they are, the hotter they're going to be. It's kind of almost like a steam effect is how I like to describe it. But anyways, I'm getting way off topic. So then the last one on here is 70+%, difficult to smoke, uneven burn or tunneling, increased probability of mold. Nobody wants mold on their cigars. So that's not what we're reviewing today. I'm done with the info sheet. We're going to review this device here. So just kind of looks like a little taser, or whoops, I guess you shouldn't drop it. A little bit of a taser or something like that, right? You can pull this cap off and it's definitely going to look like a taser now. What's cool is the cap does not come off all the way. You won't lose it. Brilliant idea. Everyone who makes things like this, please follow suit. I'm tired of losing caps and covers and battery compartment lids. So you've got your two prongs on here. See if we can get that. I'm going to hide behind my hand so it focuses there. You got your two prongs. Now you basically turn this on and now it'll read 0%. Again, I don't know if you guys can focus in on that, but it does say 0%. So the first one we're going to take a look at here is this Cohiba Talisman 2017. Now if you can see this very clearly, you will see that this cigar is extremely fake. Someone gave this to me and unfortunately it's not real. So I don't know how much money they paid for it. I really hope it wasn't too much because these are very expensive cigars and someone took them to the cleaners. But smells kind of like Cuban tobacco. I've hung on to it just for shits and giggles, kind of show people what a fake Cohiba band looks like, and you can just tell by the roll. But anyways, this has been 69% humidity, supposedly, according to Boveda. So it should be within a point or two of that. And they're not 100% accurate, but they'll keep it pretty close, especially when you have an airtight environment. So we're going to lay this flat, right? See if you guys can see that. And we are going to stick this right into the cigar. Now it says to give it 5 to 10 seconds. And we are reading, it's gone down. It started at 67, 66, now we're 65. So we're floating about 65% of it. It looks like it's stopped. So we got, if you can read that, hopefully 65% on that LCD screen. Now it's back to 0, but so we had 65% on this thing. Now it was in an environment for at least a few weeks of 69% relative humidity. Or so. At least that's what my hygrometer says. And I have calibrated those if you're curious. I'll do a different video on that someday that explains how to calibrate a hygrometer. Pretty easy to do. But this thing, not so hot. Now because this is fake, I will go through the cap too just for this test. And in the name of science. So we'll turn her back on. Right? Oh, if this was real, this would suck. $70 cigar typically. Alright, we're going in, guys. So we're going to lay this flat. I'm sorry I didn't do that part. So interesting here, if you go through the cap of this, we're going down, but it's in the 70s. We were 72, now we're 71. Looks like that's about where it's going to stop. So, like I said, within a point or two of the actual Boveda is typically what you'll see. I've done a lot of testing on those things. They are very, very, very on point almost all the time. Now we're at 70. So this is going to probably even out to right about what it actually should be. That makes me feel good about Boveda. That makes me feel good about my travel humidors, my hygrometers. All that's been tested. I've got some double checks on this to make sure we're accurate here. And it sounds like this, or it looks like this Cigarmedics humidimeter, sorry. The humidimeter is pretty much spot on. So we're about 70. Now I'm going to actually turn this 90 degrees. Or 45 degrees, sorry, not 90. And we are going to try it again. Right through the head. 72, 71. Looking like it's probably going to even out right about that 70. And that's what I was hoping for. Now I do have 3 other cigars. We'll try those out too. Oh, now it says 67, 71. So it looks like it's going to even out right about 70 then. Hey, so far so good. So, A+ for the Cohiba. Maybe I should send this to somebody to get them to freak out. Put, I don't know if you can see that, but I put some holes in that. make them think it's tobacco beetles or something. Somebody I don't like, maybe somebody who's being mean in the cigar community. We'll get them. Fohiba. All right, next up, we got this La Gloria Cubana, the Esteli. So we are gonna test this bad boy. I might not go through the head on this. All right. So this one, I put in even more recently. It's saying about 61%. So pretty dry. And that's why this tool is very useful, because depending on when you put a cigar in a humidor, you never know how long it's going to take for the whole thing to soak back up. This one, I believe, was only in this travel humidor for about 5 days. So yeah, we're stopping at 59%. So a little bit low on this guy, right? Out of curiosity, I am going to go into the head and see what we can figure out here, because I want to know if it's consistent throughout. So back on, we're going to go through the head now. Same kind of story here. So obviously the head is covered. It's going to hold more in, more than likely. So about 69%. Now we're getting down. We'll kind of see where that stops. 68. Huh. Very interesting. And this is why it's really important to just make sure you have consistency in your humidors. Rotate your stock. Make sure you're filling up all your, whether you use humidity beads, a hygrometer, or a humidifier, like an electronic one. Cigar Oasis, by the way, top notch for electronic humidifiers. I have one in one of my Winadors that is just ace. Haven't had to touch it since I got it, and that's quite a while now. So it looks like we're topping out about 67% here in the cap. Interesting. So let's test the foot again, guys. Let's see what that's all about. I want to know. I want to see if maybe we just got a fluke reading. All right, we're going in again. I tilted it 45 degrees again, put the prongs back in, and we're looking about 62, 61. We're going to be a little bit low here again. Yeah, looking like it's kind of topping out 59, 58%, somewhere around there. So the foot on this cigar is actually a lot drier than the cap. Huh. Very important to let your cigars acclimate to their environment. And that takes a while sometimes. This one this was a cigar I kind of left out, so it was pretty dry originally. Now, in temperance, I am not going to put the prongs into head of this. I do intend to smoke this. The other ones were kind of just sitting around. So this intemperance from Romacraft, we are going to check the foot, right? Same thing. This thing's been a little longer in the humidor. We're talking probably a month. So we're going to turn that on. All right. And in the foot, we're looking about 65, 66, floating around there. 64 now. And 62. Looks like it's topping out at 62. I'm not going to puncture the head of this. Like I said, guys, I do intend to fully smoke this cigar, and I don't want to put holes in the cap. So, but I will test one more. Again, I'm going to smoke this too, so I won't be hitting the cap, but we'll test the foot at least. And here's the thing, right? If you're testing the foot of your cigar and it's a little low, you're going to know the head's probably going to be a little higher, right? Everything within that cap. That's at least what these tests are showing. I can't guarantee that'll be the case, but so I got a Mi Querida Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust, one of my favorites. We're going to check this out. This is very thick tobacco on this. So we'll see how this one holds, right? The last one was a Connecticut wrapped cigar. This is a broadleaf blend. So let's give it a go here. See what this does. 64%. It started at 69, then it went right to 64, and now we're right to 62. This has probably been in the humidor about the same amount of time as that intemperance. 61%. Looks like we're going to stop there. And that's kind of what I'm looking for. As long as you're above 60, that's really the goal. We'll try this one more time. All right? And just so you guys can see this process, You can kind of see how this works. Let's see if I can hide behind here. What are we reading? 66% on there? Is that what that says? Now you're supposed to lay this flat, I guess. I don't know if that changes anything. Humidity does rise. 64. So yeah, I mean, it sounds like my cigars are floating right around where they need to be. I would be kind of curious to do a little more long-term testing on this thing to see if it makes a difference holding it up or holding it sideways. Maybe the manufacturer can respond to the video and kind of give me some insight. But overall, though, I would say that this Cigarmedics Humidimeter is a pretty solid tool. This is a really cool thing to have, especially as a reviewer. You can take this and I can basically tell if a cigar is ready to be reviewed or not. If it's too humid or too dry, we're not doing it. I'm going to use this on every cigar I smoke, just about, I would say. Unless I'm just carrying stuff around, but every review at least. That's cool. Very, very, very cool tool. I highly recommend checking this out. Now, it retails for $29.99 on the Cigarmedics website, but I will give a shout out to another cigar channel. Cigars Daily does have this on sale right now. I just looked before I recorded. I believe it was $26.99. So if you want to save the $3, they've got it on sale. It looks like Cigarmedics makes a case for this as well. I don't know the pricing on that exactly, but there is a case. So really, really cool tool. And it's got this lanyard, so you can carry it around, hook it on something if you want. Batteries. I guess I probably should have told you what kind of battery this took, but I don't have a screwdriver to open it up. We'll buy it, and when it runs out, you'll find out. So there's that, guys. The Humidimeter by Cigarmedics. I seriously recommend it. This is so cool. You should get this. Is one of the coolest cigar accessories I've tried. Good tool. I recommend it. Check it out. Till next time, guys, you keep it smoky, and I'll catch you later. See ya.